Si,
Hello.
welcome to the lounge.
Good to see you, mate.
You too, brother. So I thought it'd be good to have a chat, basically, about how, I know you've got quite a high priority job in recruitment, how you manage a team. So there's obviously a lot of stresses that come with that. And being employed, you're restricted to the hours that they demand of you. And obviously you're quite, healthy in the way you live. I know you've given a lot of people like different plans and you're quite on all those different elements. And some people find it so hard, me included, to actually try and stay healthy, try and stay fit, try and eat what you want to eat, whilst just being dragged all over the show by business and work life. Mm-hmm. So I mean, how the fuck do you do it, mate? Because 99% of people can't,
Yeah, okay. So there's a few questions there to cover off. So start with a little intro, I guess. You mentioned work life. To put it into context, for me that means 8:30 till 5:30, Monday to Friday, with a half hour to 45-minute commute either side. Hour lunch break in the middle, which isn't really enough in my point of view to fit in a workout, although people do certainly do that.
What, in the day? In the middle of the day?
Yeah. But yeah, I think really you need a good hour, and then at least
by the time you've faffed either side, I suppose.
Yeah. So that's not not my approach, but so that's the working day, and that means I'm out of the house for 10.5 hours or whatever it is.
Yeah.
And then aside from that, I've done a couple of fitness plans, helped some other people out, built my knowledge over the last few years, and that really just started with going to the gym and eating extra protein. Probably where everybody starts with doing a few mirror muscles and building on that, really. I think I have the benefit that I've always been into cardio, always been a runner, so fitting in cardio is not that much of a challenge.
Right, okay.
Because it's something that I like to do.
Yeah.
Although, if you're talking about building muscle, whether that's the right thing or not depends on what you're trying to achieve.
Yeah.
So overcoming those timelines, I guess, is what you want to get into.
It is, yeah. I mean, I think that it's a lot of people try and eat healthy, but then the problem is that when the week really kicks in, problems come in, they have to stay elsewhere, which I found myself, whenever I'm not in my comfort zone environment, when I'm elsewhere, it's just like, I'm starving now, and let's just eat this, and let's do that. And then it just scraps it, and it throws everything out the window. And it's very hard. And then something else that I find challenging, I know a lot of my friends do, is this whole counting calories thing. Mm-hmm. Because even though logically it makes sense, sometimes it's hard to just have that basic underpinning knowledge so that you can just build it into your routine. But you seem to be able to do that, and you seem to be able to help other people to do that whilst dealing with everything. And it's like, how do you do that? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. So I guess there's different levels of depth that you can go when it comes to assessing your food and counting calories, and you can go really granular and literally weigh everything that you eat and hit your macros 100%. Macros, just for information purposes, being carbs, fat and protein. Right. The three key macronutrients in any food.
Okay. Cool.
And you can do it to the gram, to the 0.00 of a gram. You can be really pedantic about it and weigh it out. And I did do that for about 5 months. and yes, the results were probably as good as they possibly could have been.
Yeah.
But was it the most enjoyable 5
I was
months?
about to say that. Like, socially, do you know what I mean? Because, especially being in recruitment with clients, that's a big part of it, right?
Yeah.
And you want to be able to keep that going and have a good time still, don't you?
Yeah. So, I guess if you're talking about how detailed you want to go with it, that's kind of right at one end of the scale.
Yeah.
You can not drink anything. You can monitor your calories down to the gram. You can make sure your macronutrients are exactly right. You can make sure you get a pre-prescribed exact amount of sleep every night. You can take supplements on top, and you can add and add and add and add.
Where do you stop, eh?
Well, exactly, until that's all you're doing, which certainly isn't what I would recommend.
Yeah.
Albeit it's useful to go to a certain level of depth just to understand for yourself what that looks like. So
and what you can actually do. What you can achieve, right?
Let's say you went full tilt for 4 weeks, which isn't a long period of time.
Right.
In that 4 weeks, you gain an understanding of what is in the food that you generally eat. What does that actually look like when it weighs 30 grams instead of 60?
Oh, okay. So you're starting to get a picture as to actually what things amount to calorie-wise, or what they actually are, with the quantity of what you're having. So you get just a basic understanding. Is that what you mean?
Yeah. Basic understanding. Yeah. And, when you do start to appreciate the different macros, carbs, protein and fat.
Yeah.
Carbs and protein, a gram of each of those has 4 calories in. A gram of fat, on the other hand, has 9.
Right.
So you'll quite often find healthy things, or things that are branded as healthy, like salads.
Yeah.
In a lot of, say you pop into a services, like you say, your environment's not on point, you haven't got your pre-prepared food. Go into a services and you think, oh, I'll grab a tossed salad, and they make it taste good by putting walnuts and avocado and oil all over it, and that's
sugary or salty dressings or whatever.
So fat quickly adds up. So regardless of whether food is healthy or unhealthy, it does always come back to whether your calories are on point versus your calorie expenditure for the day or the week.
And calorie expenditure, you mean activity, what you're doing, your training? Activity,
yeah.
Right, okay.
It's easy to run away with things that are branded as healthy.
Yeah. So with that then, on that point where, the intake of calories vs at what activity you're doing, because it offsets it obviously, matches in. Is there a basic way that people with little time can get a routine on the go to make those two match, so that you're kind of achieving what you want to? Or is that too broad a thing to say?
No, there's certainly some fairly simple rules to follow.
Yeah. List them, mate. I'm waiting for the 6-pack. List them. I'm dying for this. No, but seriously, if you had to say like simple steps almost, you know what I mean?
So what you're going to figure out is something called your total daily energy expenditure.
Okay, cool. What's that then?
That is a calculation effectively based on your height, weight and age, and your standard daily activity. So I work in recruitment.
Yeah.
I sit at a desk all day.
Yeah, like a lot of people, yeah.
So therefore my standard daily activity is sedentary. I don't move a lot.
Right.
You obviously run a tree surgery business, out on site, climbing trees, moving around, moving equipment. So you would probably be a fairly active day-to-day routine. So,
so that all adds into it,
you start off with, I'll go back one step. You start off with your BMR, which is your basal metabolic rate.
Right.
So that's a calculation based on your height, weight, and age, which tells you, just to stay still, what your body burns in a day in calories.
Okay. Yeah.
You then multiply that up by your daily activity, standard daily activity, sedentary, lightly active, active. You then add in your exercise for the week.
Right.
So let's say you do a 30-minute run at a fairly good pace. Thinking of myself, I'd probably burn about 500 calories.
All right.
Let's say I did an hour's weight training, I'd probably burn about 500 calories.
Right.
Let's say I did a 20-minute HIIT workout, which a lot of people are subscribing to these days.
Yeah.
High intensity interval training, that is. That probably about 450 in a shorter amount of time than the other stuff.
Yeah.
So after you say you're doing 5 times a week, 500 calories a time.
Yeah.
Divide that by 7 to spread it across the week. Add that to your BMR multiplied by your. I'm getting a little bit.
No, that's cool. I'm still following you.
Yeah.
Just.
So anyway, there's some simple calculators to figure out. You just do it online. It takes 2 minutes, and you don't need to remember anything I've just told you.
Brilliant.
But that effectively gives you, on a day, based on you fulfilling your exercise that you suggest you're going to do,
what you can eat.
Your number of calories. And
right, got you.
When you figure that out,
which is a one-hit wonder thing, unless you change your activity schedule.
Yeah, so your activity schedule might change. Your weight will probably change. Either down or up, depending on what you're trying to do.
So maybe just keep a tab on that on a monthly basis.
Monthly, yeah, exactly. You'd want to review it at 4 weeks. If your weight's gone up or down, you may need to alter your calories slightly, not drastically.
Yeah.
So you figure out your calories, and then if you eat under that, even if all you eat is Krispy Kremes, you'll lose weight. That's just
the math of it.
That's science. Yeah.
Okay.
You're under it, you lose weight.
Still not recommended, right?
Definitely not recommended.
Might go a bit purple or something.
No. I'm not rubber stamping that one. But if you're under it, whilst it's unhealthy to eat just bad food, in terms of your other bodily functions, in terms of your weight and weight only, you'll lose weight if you're under that figure.
Yeah.
And on the same page, if you're over that figure, which is what I was getting at earlier, if all you eat is avocado, healthy nuts, salads with dressings, whatever it is that you eat, no matter how healthy it's branded, superfoods, eat 50 punnets of blueberries or whatever it might be, if you're over that figure, you'll put weight on.
Yeah. It's as simple as that, right?
As simple as that.
Yeah. Okay, so understand what calories you can intake through the activities that you do through a simple calculator, which you can find online.
Yeah.
Then when you've got that, just be sure that you aren't eating over those calories and try and be sensible about what you're eating so that you're actually being healthy anyway. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then the step from there, from my understanding, would be that's the tricky thing when you come into the work thing, because maybe you get back late, you haven't got time, you haven't got the energy to make stuff, you might be out and about everywhere. So I suppose that's the point which I'm quite interested in then, when you've got those calories, so you understand what you can eat, how you can measure all the different food in a really easy way so that you can do it and get in the habit of it,
Yeah, okay, so personally, I just try and find stuff that is not very hard to cook.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah, it's simple though, isn't it?
I will say though that I'm an exception to the rule in terms of I'm quite happy eating the same stuff all the time.
But be fair, if you get it right, you got the calories and it works, it works.
Yeah. So I can just get into the rhythm of it.
Yeah.
Same thing, boring as hell.
Yeah.
And that is real easy because you then have no choice. You have no element of, shall I have this, shall I have that? No, I'll have what I shouldn't have.
Right.
You know what you're having. There isn't another option.
And you don't have to think about it.
And you don't have to think about it. So it's autopilot, that's what you're having. But again, that's boring. Like, people don't want to do that. What do you do when you go out for a meal? You know, sitting in your car and having a bulking shake and then going and sitting and not eating at a restaurant when everyone else is eating. It's not really...
Not the best, is it?
But again, it depends what you're trying to achieve. If you're trying to have a drastic change over a 3-month period, then maybe you do that. Because then you know you're nailing it.
Yeah. But it sounds like it comes down to habit.
Yeah, it comes down to habit, and if what you're looking for is a sustainable change in lifestyle, then going that drastic isn't necessary.
Yeah, meet in the middle somewhere, maybe.
Meet in the middle somewhere, and we've obviously skirted around and mentioned a few times the calories and the energy balance there. Now, you don't necessarily, you don't need to count your calories every single day.
Okay.
Forever, for the rest of your life. You know, that's not the secret.
No.
But the calories do definitely count to the outcome.
Yeah.
No matter how you chop it up. So it's generally definitely a worthwhile process to count your calories for at least a 2-week period.
Right.
Maybe a 4-week period, you know.
Yeah. So is that so you have an understanding as to like what size stuff, what it looks like, and what calories that actually is.
Yeah.
Just so if you go out, in a restaurant like you were saying, you can still go out and be social and have an idea that you're within them calories.
Yeah.
Right.
Absolutely.
Cool. Yeah. That makes sense.
Yeah, and there's lots of stuff that's real obvious. Single ingredient foods normally remove quite a lot of the guessing. So when you are out at a restaurant, for example, if they do fish and potatoes, which can still taste good, you know that's fish, and you know that's potatoes, and it probably comes with veg. There's not some sort of sauce that they've stuffed full of stuff to make it tasty, but it's going to be really calorific.
It's
not smothered in cheese. Cheese is a real silent assassin when it comes.
Don't go there, mate. Even I know that. Right, so where were we? Recapping, weren't we? So
talked about energy balance.
Yes, energy balance.
And looking at calories. And recommending for at least a period of time to understand and pay attention to calories.
Yeah. So you understand not exactly, but roughly what the calories are in different things you may eat when you're out.
Yeah.
Cool.
Cool. So let's say that's let's say. Scientifically, that is exactly the first thing that you need to get right. Your energy balance.
And have an understanding of.
And have an understanding of it. And the only way you can do that, if it's uncomfortable, tough, you got to put effort in sometimes to achieve stuff.
And it will get easier, right?
It will get easier. You build up your knowledge of what you normally eat, what you occasionally eat. You build it up as you go along.
Right.
And then it gets easier because you're used to spotting, well, that's about that. If I go to Subway and I get a 6-inch 9-grain honey oat double chicken tikka,
I
know exactly how many calories that's going to be. And that's going to give me 60 grams of protein. So,
so is that something that you need to know as well with the protein element? Is that important as to how much you should have on a daily basis? I mean, it's a big thing with shakes and stuff, but is it just going to put weight on to bulk you out, or is it just generally good, as a healthy fitness thing? I mean, what's your thoughts on that?
Cool. So, really good point. Protein probably is like building block number 2.
Right.
If what you're interested in is your physique.
Okay.
So, how you're going to look at the beach with your top off.
Oh, hey, that's what it's all about.
Yeah.
Let's be honest, hey,
What's the missus going to say in the bedroom, you know?
Is she going to be disappointed, you know what I'm saying?
Probably not a lot. Pajamas are on, the lights are off, already asleep.
That's it, mate. Yeah. No.
But yeah, so protein, as we've said, the energy balance thing, if all you're interested in is weight management, that's all you need to know.
Okay, right, okay.
But you know the term skinny fat.
Yeah.
You know, the guys that have no sort of arms, little paunch down at the bottom of their belly, like classic dad bod scenario. No one wants that.
No.
So only managing your weight is kind of not a good outcome in terms of how you're going to look. Protein comes in right there, close second, to achieve that. Reason being, physique or tone is muscle. So, you know, you'll quite often hear people say, I want to get toned. And all they think they need to do to get toned is lose weight. But actually what they need to do is have muscle on show. That's what tone is. It's
so they need to build muscle. Yeah, they need to build that muscle up.
Yeah, they need to produce some muscle to have on display. Don't get me wrong, if you're already muscular, you perhaps would look more toned if you lost weight. But if you've got no muscle and you go into a calorie deficit phase and lose weight, you're not going to look toned because you haven't got any muscle to sort of cut back onto.
Yeah, okay.
So, yeah, protein, number 2. Now, I probably am biased to overeating protein.
Right, okay. But it's better than undereating, right?
Yeah, I'll chuck that caveat out there. I'm sure there will be people that say, I don't need to eat quite as much as that. But I aim for a gram of protein per pound of body weight.
Right, okay.
So I currently weigh 89 kilos.
Okay.
Convert that to pounds, times it by 2.2. I aim to eat around 200 grams of protein a day.
Okay. Now, fair amount then.
Fair amount.
Yeah. Do you have it in shakes or?
I do, yes.
Yeah. Bit of food though as well to add to it, yeah.
Mostly food. Mostly food. I think I can get to that with just having kind of one protein shake supplement a day.
Right, okay.
But that's because I know what I'm eating in my other 3 meals.
Right, I see.
People that get up and have Cocoa Pops with milk.
Yeah.
And then go to Tesco at lunch and get a £3 meal deal.
Yeah.
Ham sandwich, and think that that's got protein content, which it does, but
not
it's
enough.
negligible.
Yeah.
Really. And then they say, well, I eat protein at dinner. I have a chicken breast and a half or something.
Yeah.
And it's like, cool, you've had 35, 45 grams of protein over your whole day.
Yeah.
And you know, I'm having 200. I'm not saying everyone needs to have 200, but probably most people need to be having at least 100. It's obviously going to depend on their weight and
and what they're trying to achieve, what activity, but
absolutely,
it's crucial though. I see what you're saying.
It's crucial. So and the reason being is when you exercise, resistance training, so weight training, you effectively tear your muscles. For your muscles to repair, they need protein.
Yeah, you need to build them up.
Yeah, so the process of building muscle is breaking it, and then it fixes bigger.
Yeah.
Effectively, in a real simple term.
Yeah.
And to do that, you need protein, which is like the building blocks of your muscle.
Okay.
And people just don't eat enough. So people might be on the best diet plan going, and they might be under their energy balance, but they might look rubbish.
Yeah. But this is it though, isn't it? There's so many, not so many, because you're almost making it sound simple when you actually look at it, but there's a few different key elements you need to hit.
Yeah.
And if you stay on top of them all, it actually becomes easy.
Yeah.
So it's the calories, the protein, and getting in the habit of having set meals so that you don't fall back onto something that's unhealthy and just eat something that is classed as healthy but in actual fact will push you over those calories.
Exactly.
So
So
then when, like, talk us through like an average day then, like breakfast, lunch, dinner, how does that look for you?
No worries. So for breakfast, I have. I'll go full detail because I'm having it the same every day. I know exactly what it is.
Yeah.
I have 330 grams of Liberté yogurt, which is just like a extra strain yogurt. It's kind of like Greek yogurt.
Yeah.
Along with a couple of scoops of chocolate flavoured bulking powder, which is a mixture of oats and protein powder.
Okay.
And a scoop of peanut butter.
Sounds good.
It's real good actually. And, it's just like having chocolate dessert for breakfast.
Yeah. Almost satisfies that like sweet tooth,
Yeah, I mean, I genuinely love it, and that's what's a real good thing to try and do, is figure out what you want to eat, because what you got to figure out is what you're actually going to do.
Yeah.
It's all well and good going to some PT at the gym or going to Atkins or paleo or keto or whatever diet plan you go to and being prescribed exactly what you need to eat.
Yeah.
If you don't like it, you're not going to do it.
No. When it comes down to reality, like you say, day to day, you'll fall out the habit because you'll resent it.
Yeah.
It's like business, if you enjoy it and if you get self-motivated throughout it, you grow, you do better at it.
Yeah.
It's just the same, I suppose,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So
okay.
Honing in on...
So that's breakfast. Yeah.
That's breakfast.
Right.
And then for lunch, I'm having a pouch of Tilda microwave rice.
Yeah.
Aim to have it so there's less than 60 grams of carbs, which most of the Tilda rices there are in the whole pack.
Yeah.
Uncle Ben's, there tends to be more. And I have that with a tin of tuna, just a no drain in spring water, and along with a quarter jar of reduced fat red pesto.
That's sweet. So again, like you were saying earlier, that's pretty easy to prep. You can
really
store
easy,
it, in your cupboard, keep some spare at work in your car, whatever. So if you get in a situation where you're really hungry and you're like, I'll just eat whatever, you've actually got it there.
Yep. Yeah, absolutely. So that's always there. There's no sort of temptation to go do other stuff. Well, there might be temptation, but it's a lot easier to overcome it if you've already got everything you need right in front of you.
Yeah.
And all you need to achieve that is a microwave.
Yeah,
for
which
the
is
rice.
easy. Yeah.
And there's no other prep.
No.
So it's really
Simple.
easy.
Yeah.
Even at services now, I'm thinking if people are driving at services, there's normally microwaves.
Yeah.
Yes, they're intended to heat up baby food, but who's really checking?
Yeah. Right.
So
that's it though. You got to think outside the box. Think like that.
Yeah.
That's what will make the changes. The little things, I suppose.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that's lunch, and then dinner. What I've actually done with dinner. So when I referenced earlier to doing a 5-month really strict plan.
Yeah.
I had one cheat meal a week, and that was the only time I ate dinner with my wife. So
right, okay. We just sit in a separate room the rest of the night.
Just once a week, and the rest of the time I was having a measured quantity bulking shake, which was exactly what I needed. It was easy. It was a couple of minutes after the gym, so it wasn't taking up my evening, and that was by choice, not because that's the best thing to do. It was just the most convenient thing to do.
Well, that was your whole dinner?
Yep.
The shake?
Yep.
Jeez.
It was a 600 calorie shake.
Oh, right.
Which, people think, it's a shake, it's just water, or but it was still a substantial amount of calories. It was just convenience meant that's what I had.
Yeah.
That's not what I'm having now, though.
Okay.
So now, effectively, I know what I'm having for breakfast, I know what I'm having for lunch. So for dinner, I know I've got a certain amount of
calories left.
Yeah, certain
Yeah.
amount of protein and bits to make up, and it can be difficult, and you know a lot of people. It's nice to have a meal with your other half. That's part and parcel of you know, spending time together of an evening. It often revolves around food. That's just how things are. So
you don't want to miss out on that, do you?
No, you don't want to miss out on that, and you don't want to sort of lose that time. So we just got a list of meals that we would normally have.
Right. Okay.
And then figured out how to make them in the right quantities and the right way, using the right ingredients to make up what I needed to get from it, basically.
So imagine if you had, like, I mean, people generally have about 10 meals that they make, and they just rotate when they have them. So imagine, you know, you might have to throw out 4, depending on what they were, because they push the calories too much. But if you had, you know, say 6 meals that you did what you said, you know, you worked it in a way that you were within your calories and you worked out what weight you needed of each ingredient, you could almost just create that for the 6 meals, you know, have that preset on a bit of paper, put it on your fridge, put it wherever, and then when it came to it, you didn't have to think about it.
Yeah.
And you could even, like, maybe freeze some of their meals, have them in the freezer even, or I don't know. Yeah.
If you wanted to.
Yeah, that would be pretty good.
I mean, we're fairly, you know, I'm not 100% strict on it these days.
But you not being strict is like, mate, that's still hard for most of us, trust me.
Yeah, I mean, you know, I tend to nail breakfast and lunch, and then dinner, there's a bit of leeway. But I say I'm not strict. It's kind of pre-weighed out, predefined. But, you know, in essence, what I'm getting at is we looked at what we normally had. We figured out how to do it roughly in the way that we needed.
Yeah.
And then, you know, oh no, massive chore. We'll make a pot of chili or spag bowl, or whatever it might be.
Yeah.
And we got to split it down into weighed amounts.
Yeah. So one of the important things, is getting on the lash on the weekend, because I know they can mess it all up.
Yeah.
And it's true though, right? Because the hard thing I found is it's easier to be disciplined in the week because you have more of a routine, like you say, at work. As long as you've got basic things, you know, you have your breakfast, your lunch, your dinner. You generally don't go too crazy on a school night.
Yeah.
But then I find you get to Friday and you're like, right, I need to reward myself.
Yeah.
Let's have like a takeaway with the missus, and you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then you might drink a bit, or on a Saturday, and then it just writes it off. And then you think, oh, okay, I'll eat whatever. And then on a Monday, I'll go back to a good routine. But just through doing that, it almost seems to ruin the rest of the time you've put all that effort in.
Yeah.
So, how the fuck do you get around that?
Yeah, so now we're getting into the real challenging stuff.
I know.
Yeah. And absolutely, you know, on the same page where you got to figure out what food you're going to like and therefore you're going to eat because you like eating it.
Yeah.
You've got to get that balance, or you know, most people don't have the willpower to sustain doing something that they don't really want to do for a long period of time. So, you know, maybe someone will be successful for 2 months, absolute tops, based on willpower alone, not drinking, not socialising, giving up all of their vices, you know, and they'll get great results. But it's kind of like winding up an elastic band and a paperclip around a pencil. Yeah. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You keep winding it, it gets tighter and tighter and tighter until bosh, it goes fucking nuts the other way. So
it's a good analogy. It's good.
And if you go wholesale change off the bat, and if you go right, I'm having prescribed stuff that I don't really like, I'm putting in all this effort, and all it is negative, the only positive thing is the results, that's not enough. You need it to be habit based, you need it to be stuff you want to do, you need it to be a lifestyle change if you want it to be longer term and sustainable, so that you're not tightening that elastic band the whole time.
And it makes sense. You want to I suppose build them blocks for longevity.
Yeah.
You know, so that you can continue that self-discipline and have the life you want and make sure it's just not a momentary thing.
Yeah.
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 Makes sense. Makes sense.
So on that basis, people like to get boozy at the weekend. That's
Yeah,
fair
yeah.
enough. So a couple of things that we can get into on alcohol. There's some techniques that you can follow throughout the whole week.
Okay.
There's some techniques you can follow on the day of drinking, and some techniques you can follow on the night of drinking.
Oh, right. I'd love to know what they are. Go on.
All of which can sort of add up to help you out. So let's tackle first of all alcohol and the type of alcohol that you're going to drink.
Okay.
So we said earlier, protein and carbs, 4 grams, 4 calories per gram.
Yeah.
Fat, 9 calories per gram.
Right.
Alcohol, 7 calories per gram. So, mind blown on the stats. But what that translates to is a shot of a clear white spirit, and I picked that because that is the lowest calorie thing you can drink, pretty much in terms of bang for your buck, alcohol for calories.
Right. Okay. Like tequila, Zambuca, vodka kind of thing.
Let's say vodka and gin.
Okay, vodka and gin.
Yeah, vodka and gin, and a shot of gin.
Yeah.
Is about 78 calories.
70.
78 calories, yeah. So.
Oh right.
Let's say you go out and have 5 doubles. Yeah.
Mountains up, doesn't it?
5 doubles, yeah, and
Jesus.
all of a sudden you're looking at 780 calories from gin on the assumption you've had that with slimline tonic.
Yeah.
Jeez. So
that's way more than you think.
Bosh, and let's put that into context. A guy of your build or my build for maintenance. So if I'm looking for my weight to stay the same, probably need about 2,500 calories. So that's a third of your daily allowance just from 5 doubles. And let's be honest, 5 doubles is not as much as we're going to have more than that. Maybe 10 doubles. Depends how lively it gets.
Because if you're going to drink a few, you're going to keep going, aren't you? Which just totally throws out that calorie count, doesn't it?
Throws it out. And let's rewind a minute. That's if you take the decision to have gin and slimline tonic.
Yeah.
Do many people do that?
Nah.
No. So let's go for a pint of beer.
Yeah.
And we're probably talking from 1 pint about 260 calories per pint. So now let's say you have 8 pints.
Jesus.
Yeah. And we're already over 2,000 calories.
Yeah.
Your day in 8 pints at the pub. So
that's nuts, isn't it? So try stay away from the cider and the beers. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. So you still socialise, still drink.
Yeah.
G&Ts are good. Vodka, Diet Cokes, things like that.
Yep.
Yeah. Maybe better to focus on.
Yeah. So.
All right.
White spirits with low calorie mixer.
Yeah.
Or dry white wine. Prosecco actually not too bad.
Okay.
I'm not as good on the stats on those two, but they're there or thereabouts. But you want to stay away from your beers, your ales, your ciders, cocktails. It's just liquid sugar. So if you choose to drink, you can choose to drink certain things that are going to be better than other things.
Good start.
Good start.
So do you limit them? Do you say, okay, well, there's this many calories in that type of drink.
Yeah.
So therefore, I'm going to have 6, 16, whatever. Like, do you do that or not?
So you can set out to do that.
Whether you do it is another thing.
With the best will in the world, I don't know if that's really going to happen. But right, what you certainly can do is that every Saturday night you're gonna go out get boozy, have a night out on the lash. Maybe you're not gonna eat the best food. If taking 2,500 calories as an example, if you know that you need to have about 2,500 calories a day over a week, that is 17,500 calories.
Okay.
Now, if Monday to Friday, instead of 2,000, at 2,500.
Yeah.
You have 2,000.
Right.
You've banked yourself 2,500 calories for the week. So
right, for the weekend when you're doing this drinking,
which you can plug into the weekend. Yeah.
God,
So
yeah. Okay.
when you've got the routine down and you've got the structure and you've got the environment in place Monday to Friday, you can actually cut it back a little bit.
So you're almost like you say, you're putting them calories in the bag.
Yeah.
So that when you want to do what you do socially on the weekend, you can have them, and then as a whole, as a week, you're
bigger
not
picture.
being silly.
Yeah. So the bigger picture, you're still on balance. And if you had a graph of this is maintaining when you've had a lot of calories, you're going up, and when you're burning them off, you're down. If you're getting that graph right over a week period, you don't necessarily have to nail it every single 24 hours.
Yeah.
If on the bigger picture your overall calorie balance over an extended period of time is correct, then that's okay. So you can do that. You can bank calories from the week and put them into the weekend if you know that you're going to let loose a little bit.
That's a good one.
Yeah,
I like that.
One thing to note though.
Yeah.
If you bank 2,500 calories.
Yeah.
On Saturday, you eat your normal food.
Yeah.
And you go out drinking that night, and you have 10 double gin and tonics.
Right.
Then you've done in best part of 1,600 calories in gin.
Yeah.
Then you have a large Domino's on the way home.
Yeah.
And you've done another 3,000.
Right, yeah.
So you're not invincible.
Yeah.
Is what I'm getting at with that. So another benefit that I've had personally, I've never been an end of the night eater on nights out. So kebabby, pizza, I'm not normally coherent enough to make it to those places.
I've seen that.
I'm normally in bed, so so thankfully that's not a problem for me.
But the thing is that I do like to eat after, because in my head I'm like, oh yeah, it soaks up all the alcohol. It probably doesn't. I just like to pig out.
Yeah.
But it's habit.
Yeah.
And this is what we're saying with all these simple things. If I or other people can break that habit of maybe changing their choice of alcohol, maybe not being the end of night eater, then it's these little adjustments that will change the bigger picture and getting results to whatever you want to be like physically. So it's a good one, that one. Yeah.
So
okay, well that helps.
Yeah, definitely.
I was worried you'd say I wouldn't be able to drink. Just be boring as fuck.
I mean, there's another couple of things. So on the day that you're going to go out drinking that night, cut out most of your carbs.
Okay,
and cut out most of your carbs. You can effectively cancel carbs out and replace them with alcohol calories. This isn't a health suggestion.
But it's a practical one.
You can do that. If you eat less that day, you get more bang for your buck from the booze. So maybe you have a bit less booze. Again, probably not the most healthy thing to do, but and also you can have some food at home. Waiting for you.
Right.
That you know what that is.
Yep, you know what calories are in it. You know it's not too bad.
It might not be the same satisfaction as double-sized lamb doner smothered in all sorts of mayonnaise and.
But you can get these like real low-calorie pizzas now, can't you? Like I've bought them from gyms before, where they're like 400 and something calories, and it is like a fairly sized pizza.
Yeah.
So when you're drunk, get back, you eat that. Do you see what I mean?
Yeah, it fills a gap.
Yeah.
You know it's there.
Yeah.
You know, which means maybe you jump in the taxi instead of going into the kebab house.
Yeah.
Maybe by the time you get home, you don't even want it. But you get there, it's there, and if it's a sweet tooth sort of thing that people are after when they're pissed, then just fill your freezer with Halo Top ice cream. Yeah, I've tried that. That's not too bad, is it? To be fair. Yeah. So there's things you can do to make it fit as best as possible.
What I'm getting from this side is you clearly look into things, which is why you can think less at the time.
Yeah.
Because that's a big problem of mine, is that I have so many things I have to think about. Sometimes you sacrifice them as you go along in your week, just to get a mediocre result over everything. But what you seem to do is look into it in detail in the time that you do have to yourself, so that when it comes to the time where you have less time, you're in a good position, because everything's laid out, you don't have to think about it, and you've created them habits.
Yeah.
So it makes sense, yeah. But it's just, I suppose, being disciplined enough to figure out simply what those little habits are and just put them in place over time.
Yeah.
Yeah. So go on, break down bullet points to me what someone coming into this fresh would do, and what they should start to think about at the beginning. That'd be handy.
Yeah, no worries. So, real simple. I guess there are two different prongs to this.
Yeah, yeah.
A real skinny person that wants to put weight on,
Okay, yeah.
and someone that's overweight that wants to lose weight. So
Right,
yeah,
right.
okay, same difference. Your choice might be one way or the other on energy balance that we were talking about earlier. So
Yeah.
you want to use a simple online calculator.
Yep.
To figure out your total daily energy expenditure based on the amount of exercise that you're going to do a week.
Okay.
We haven't spoken about exercise, and that is predominantly because 80% of the results are going to come from food.
Yeah, and I think I've purposely tried to talk more about food with you, because hopefully we can get you in for another chat about the exercise element of it.
Yeah.
Because I know you're just as knowledgeable about that.
Yeah.
But I can have an appreciation of it's so important to get this food thing right first.
Yeah.
Because like you're saying, it really does make up a bigger element of getting in the right shape.
Yeah, absolutely. So, total daily energy expenditure, calories.
Yeah. Okay, yeah.
Spend some time counting calories. It might be uncomfortable for a bit, but just do it. Get used to it. Know what you're actually eating.
Yeah.
Then break that down and make sure that you're going to eat enough protein. Building block number 2. And that's going to allow your body to repair muscle. And whether you want to lose weight or whether you want to gain weight, generally what people want to do is look better with their clothes off.
Yeah,
and therefore muscle is going to do that.
It's going to help with that.
That toned effect, that athletic look. You know, however people brand it,
Yeah.
generally what they're talking about is looking more muscular.
Yeah.
One thing as well, dare I say, females tend to be put off from lifting weights and eating enough protein because they don't want to look too manly.
Right, yeah.
But putting on muscle is not easy, and that's not going to happen real quick.
No.
So they shouldn't shy away from those things.
Yeah.
Because that actually is going to have a longer term benefit. So energy balance, bullet point number 1.
Yep.
Protein intake, bullet point number 2.
Yep.
And then,
Women in the gym doing squats.
I mean,
hey, we all like to see that.
Shouldn't they all be?
Back to it, so serious chat, mate.
And then point number 3 is just when you've done point 1 and 2, figure out what you like to eat and how that's going to fit in.
Right. Into a routine.
Into a routine. So the easiest thing to do is do a food diary on yourself of what you're eating anyway.
Yeah.
And a lot of people be surprised actually how cyclical and how repetitive their diet already is.
Yeah, without even knowing it.
Without knowing it. So maybe they do have the same breakfast every single day. It's just rubbish and sugary.
Yeah.
So why not just change it to something that's better? But as soon as you kind of label it as you're doing something on purpose, people get a bit funny about it. And they're like, oh yeah, you're on a diet. And that's another thing that we haven't delved into, which could be another time. But support network and accountability
massive.
Massive. But do not bank on the people at the office to be supportive in any way.
No. If anything, the opposite, I
The
bet.
exact opposite, yeah. So if you can somehow turn that into a way of stoking your fire, that's the best approach.
Yeah, no, definitely.
But yeah, so look at your existing food. Look at how you can adjust that to fit in
With the calories and the
calories
protein.
and the protein. And you might not be a million miles away. It might be quite a big change, but as long as it's based on stuff that you're familiar with and that you do anyway, then that won't feel like a big departure.
Yeah. And then I suppose the next step is when you're outside of that routine. Without, if I can throw this up, I'll just repeat myself. And I suppose the next step is when you're outside of that routine, is actually still having those meals in place so that you can always retreat to them, and then also being able to still be as social as you want to be and still drink, still have a good time, but tweak those things so that actually when it comes to it, you're still good with the overall calorie count. Yeah,
that's
cool.
In a nutshell.
Yeah.
And
Brilliant.
don't get me wrong, it takes a bit of planning.
Yeah.
It takes a bit of forward thought.
Yeah.
But it gets easier after you've done it a few times.
Yeah.
You get into a habit and a routine.
Yeah.
And then even when you're outside of your day-to-day stuff, you know what you're doing because you've thought about it already, or you've had experience of it in the past. And you can just build on that and take it forward.
Sweet. No, definitely. Well, mate, it's a lot of info. But you broke it down in a way that I think you can incorporate a lot of adjustments in a busy schedule. And that's something that is the hard thing to do. You see Jamie's make his meals in 30 minutes and all these different, guys out there. That's the hardest point, is the time. No one has time.
Yeah.
So, I've understood like a certain things that I can incorporate in while still having a busy schedule. So that's good.
Yeah.
But definitely I'm going to have to get you back here for the exercise element, mate, because I'm lacking there. And it'd be good to know a bit more about that, definitely.
Yeah, no dramas.
Yeah, cheers for the time, brother.
Good to see you, mate.
Do you like the lounge?
Love it.
It's pimping, right?
Dread to think what's been going on here.